Hi there, these comments are for GE, and I am Michael, the founder owner and the materials writer for all of your lessons at otconlinetoeflcourse.com. And you had a quick question also I'm going to take a look at right now. I'm going to listen to your speaking here in just a minute. You say, I want to ask you a question. First, I find myself have trouble. I would say I would change this to having. I find myself having trouble. Change this to using punctuation marks, and you need to end this sentence so you don't have a comma splice. So how can I improve on this? There's probably 100,000 students who have exactly the same question, and many of these students are not even non-native speakers. So everybody really has a lot of trouble with punctuation, right? So here's the first step. Okay, I think if you go into my online TOEFL course, right? So we're looking at this is a 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. This is stealth.michaelbuckoff.com, right? So your first step is to go to the grammar section of my course. That's step 3. You'll notice when you go here, you will get to it. Here it is. So you want to study lesson 28 first. It's called when to use commas and when not to use commas, right? I go over everything you need to know about using or not using commas. Then, lesson 29, you can learn about the semicolon, the colon, the dash, the period, the question mark, and the exclamation point, right? So if you go over lesson 28, lesson 29, that's going to cover everything that you need to know to help you with your punctuation. However, that's not going to cut it. You now need to practice some writing, and let's see how you do with your punctuation. So what I would recommend is maybe sign up for 3 TOEFL private lessons. If you go over to bettertoeflscores.com, you can get the link to my TOEFL private lessons and I want you to do at least one independent writing practice test, and let's take a look at the punctuation there. And I can make all the corrections and show you everything that you're having trouble with. I can do that either by video or we can meet face to face, whichever you prefer. Then the next time is do an integrated writing practice test, and let's take a look at your pronunciation within that context. And then the third lesson, you can probably do either independent or integrated, and we can see how you're doing with it. So study these lessons first. If you want more feedback, then it's a good idea to maybe do 2 or 3 TOEFL private lessons, and we can look at your punctuation within the context of an independent and integrated writing task. So that's my answer to that. Okay, it says also, please listen to evaluate, score, and provide feedback on my independent speaking practice test 289. Okay, so it says there are many types of energy sources like wind, solar, and coal. Which form of energy do you prefer and why? Okay, so we're going to get ready to listen to that. And let me get the rubrics here. Okay, we got it. So we have independent speaking rubric. So what source of energy do you prefer more?
I would root hard for using solar energy because it is really effective for automobile. For instance, if cars are running out of gas, they don't have to go to the gas station to fill up gas. Instead, by having solar energy, which is derived from the sunlight, the cars will definitely convert sunlight into electricity, which is really effective for those people who use cars. In contrast, the reason why I do not choose wind energy is because it has no.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Just focus on the benefits of solar energy for cars. But the problem there is if solar energy were so effective for automobiles, why Don't we have automobiles that have solar power energy? We have automobiles that have batteries, right? And they're charged, but we don't have solar powered automobiles. So, but just focus on maybe two benefits of solar energy, and don't worry about talking about the contrast or the disadvantages of the other two.
Functional usage except for powering the plant. So does coal, because coal will definitely pollute our environment. For
So
I
you could say something like solar power is a more effective form of energy for automobiles, and it's also much cleaner for the environment. You could maybe state your argument that way, then develop those 2 points with specific supporting detail. Right? So if I take a look at the rubrics here, you're still speaking a little bit too slowly. So you have to work on your pacing. You still need to get a little faster with that. But you're understandable. That's good. So you're speaking clearly for the most part. You had pretty good control of your language use, I think. Topic development, I think you need a more convincing argument. I'm not really convinced that solar power is the best form of energy for automobiles. You just didn't convince me based on what you said. So focus on two good reasons, maybe give examples for each reason, and see if that results in a stronger argument. All right, so your practice test score here, I'm going to put you at 2.5 to 3. I'm going to say maybe 19 to 20 points out of 30 on this practice test.